feeling like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond in the shrimp tank. When it take a swim, only option is to win.
Welcome to the Shrimp Tank post-show wrap-up. I'm your host, Daniel Goodwin of Provident. Joining me in the studio today is my esteemed colleague and co-host, Mr. J.J. Hawley of the Chamber of Commerce, and also Mark Park. Mark Park. Say that fast 3 times. Mark's company is a 30-year family-owned business called AAA Plumbers, and they have an exciting company. They've got 65 employees, and they have a fabulous company culture, company history. Been in business 30-some years, and the show today was a deep dive into AAA Plumbers, how the company started, and we learned from Mark some key things about culture. And don't forget, you're going to be able to download a complete replay of the show at houston.shrimptankpodcast.com. You might notice there were smiles today. That's because we just had the elections, our first show after the new president-elect. And, you know, we're business owners. We feel like we are entering a more business-friendly environment. And why should we not? After all, entrepreneurs create most of the jobs in this country. And so I'm, for one, I'm excited about moving into a more business-friendly regulatory environment, and I know JJ would second that, and with the Chamber of Commerce, because they are the business advocacy voice in our community here. And so, Mark, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
I know we had a couple of questions for you, just to kind of give our listeners a little idea of how great this interview was. JJ, you want to go first?
I would. One of the questions I was interested in is owning your own business and how busy and demanding that can be. Is how do you balance that with your personal life? You know, you've got a wife, 3 kids. What do you do?
We're a 24-hour emergency service company, so some of that is dictated by the work itself. But I think having good people in place and giving them some flexibility and to make good decisions, and this helped a lot because you have people you rely on, and not only frees you from the office, but it frees your mind that you have somebody that can take care of the shop when you're not there.
And so you've mentioned too that longevity with your employees has been very good. So I'm sure that culture has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, they've already been there. There's not a whole lot of surprises with the people that have been there a long time. They've kind of seen all of it, and they're already kind of vetted out to where they're going to do a good job. You're not really in for a surprise.
Yep.
You know, someone once said that you build your people, and your people will build your business, and that sounds exactly like what you have done with the AAA Plumbers company. Is that you built people first. And along the way, over the last 30 years, you guys have built a wonderful business. That's probably the biggest takeaway that I think that Mark's show, because it's a deep dive into that. It's a mindset. It's not all about bottom line and how can I hire this person for the least amount of money and get the most out of them and then kick them to the curb. They sound like they run this like a family business. And so with that in mind, Mark, you and your dad, Steve.
That's right.
Shout out to Steve here, by the way. But and maybe the culture of the company started with Steve's vision, and that's really manifest over the years. Tell us a little bit about the culture at AAA Plumbers, and then how do you keep that? Sometimes culture can be, a slogan or what have you, but you guys actually make it happen. How do you do that?
I think just by treating people the way you want to be treated. You give the people, like I said, the autonomy and the trust to do the right thing and make them feel appreciated, and they're going to, do the right thing, and that drives success. With a lot of type of the work we do is not in the office. They're out in the field all around town, and you really want to have employees that you feel comfortable, that have the integrity to do the right thing and that represent your company right. So if you're not treating them right, they're not going to have that kind of attitude, and they're probably going to cut corners. So the only way to be successful is to make them feel good about where they work and that they feel respected and appreciated.
Okay, Mark, I think that is, it sounds so basic, but this, listeners, is the blocking and tackling of building a business. And you're going to listen to Mark's show when you download the complete replay, and you're going to hear how some people who've actually done it, and they've done it successfully for 30 plus years, and they found traction. by taking great care of people and great care of customers. And you know what? Building a successful business is not always, fancy, exciting. Sometimes it's really mastering the blocking and tackling, taking care of employees and taking care of customers. And so, Mark, we want to thank you so much for being on the Shrimp Tank podcast. We want to thank Mercedes-Benz of the Woodlands for allowing us to broadcast here live in their studios today. And I want to thank the Chamber of Commerce and also the Sam Houston State University Entrepreneurship Degree Program. And Mark, tell our listeners how they would get in touch with your company, maybe phone number and website.
Phone number 713-462-4753. And reach us on the web at AAAPlumbers.com with a handy schedule a service call button there.
All right, so good to have you on the show. Thank you so much, Mark.
You.
And thank you, JJ.
Nice to meet you.
Yep, and thank our listeners for being on the Shrimp Tank podcast, and we will see you next week.
I've been feeling like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big